Welcome to iFocus Tutorials. Today in this video I am going to explain the concept of list in Python. The most frequently used data structure in Python is called as a sequence, and each element of the sequence is assigned a number. So we called it as a position or an index. Now this first index starts with a 0, second one will be given a number as 1 and so on. So the most common sequences are called as a list and a tuple. But in this entire video I am going to discuss only about list in Python. We can perform multiple operations on list like indexing, slicing, adding or multiplication. Python also has built-in functions for list, that is finding the length of a sequence or finding the largest and the smallest element of the list. We will see one by one in detail. Now I am demonstrating this concept in PyCharm. So in PyCharm I have opened the Python console here. Now if I take a variable that is x and then assign a value of 6 to it. So if I print the value of x, it will show me 6. Now again if I change the value of x and I assign it a value of 10. So now if you print the value of x, it will not show me the previous value but it will show me the recent value. So if you observe here, the output is 10. Which means that if a variable is created in Python by the name x, then every time the value of it will be replaced. So whenever we try to assign a new value to any variable, every time it will be replaced and a new value will be added to that same location. Now what if I want to create some group? So if we want to create a group, then in technical terms or in Python we call it as a list. Now I am creating a list by the name as fruit, and a list is always created by square brackets. So whatever elements that we want to group should be written in the square brackets. So I am creating a list of strings. So first I am assigning the fruit as a banana. Then whatever will be my second element, that should be separated with a comma, and the second element I am taking it as mango, and I am taking one more element to it, that is orange. So here my list has been created. Now if I try to print the fruit list, it will show me the elements in it. Now if you observe here, this list is nothing but a group. So generally a list in Python is nothing but a collection which allows us to put many values in a single variable. An important point to note about list is that these lists should be surrounded by square brackets compulsorily, and the elements in these lists are separated by commas. Now I can create a list as a combination also. So let's take an example as list1 is equal to, I am taking a combination of fruits, that is mango. I am taking second element as a number, so this is also allowed. My third element is again some fruit, so it is orange, and my third element, let's say it is a decimal number, so it is 4.5. So this list will be created. Now if I print this list, so it will show me the entire elements in my list. So in this way we can create a combination of strings, numbers and any decimal numbers also in a list. Now if I take a second example of list as a list2, and it contains only numbers, so again this is possible. Now I'll print list2. So if you observe here, the numbers have been created here. Again I am taking an example of list3. So I am taking alphabets here, but if you observe here, first I had written my strings in single inverted commas, but you can write it in double inverted commas also. So I am taking it as let's say A, mango, then I am taking it B, okay, and then I'll print it. So if you observe here, even if we write it in double inverted commas, while printing it will show me in single inverted commas only, and always it will be given in square brackets. So these square brackets indicate that the elements that I have listed are in a list. So now if I want to access any element of these lists, so the indexing of any list starts with 0. So if you consider an example of this list 3, to get the information about the tutorials, press the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get the notification. Then this A element will be at index 0, this mango element will be at index 1, and this B element will be at index 2. So now if I want to print the 0th element of this list, so how I can print it as list 3, because the element is in list 3, and in square brackets I have to put the index, so the index is 0. So if you print here, and you will see the A element has been printed. Similarly, I can print the first element. So if you observe here, mango has been printed. I'll create a bigger list by the name list, so that I can show you how we can access multiple elements in that list. So I am taking a combination of numbers and some strings. So 40, then next is let's say banana, then let's say it is 5.6. I am taking random elements, and let's say it is orange. So there are multiple elements. Now if you print this list, you will get entire list here. Now let's take an example that I have to print 3 elements from this list. So what I have to do, 3 elements, any 3 elements I am taking. So I am starting with the first element. I have to give a colon here, and then 3. Now an important point to note here is that our printing will start from the first element. So mango will be printed, then it goes till the third element. So this is my first element, that is mango, 40, and banana is my third element, but third element will not be printed, so only mango and 40 will be printed at this point. So if you observe here, mango and 40 have been printed. Similarly, I can print it as list and in colon I can give 3 to 5. So if you observe here, my third element is nothing but banana, fourth element is nothing but 5.6, and fifth element is nothing but orange, but fifth element will not be printed. So banana and 5.6 I am getting at the output. Now if I take an example as I give a negative index here, let's say -2. So what will be printed? So the indexing starts like 0 is given for the first index, and the negative index goes at in the reverse order. So orange is at -1 index, and -2 is nothing but 5.6. So if you check the output here, you will get 5.6 at the output. Now if you compare the concept of list and string here, so I am creating a string first. So it has a banana in it. So if you print fruit, I'll get banana. So banana is a string which I have assigned to variable fruit. Now if I want to change the first element of this string, so B is my first element. If I try to print it, it will give me the correct answer, so I'll get a B here. But if I try to change it, means if I assign the value of a fruit of 0 as let's say some k, okay, so it will give me an error, which means that strings are immutable. So we can't change the contents of a string, but what we can do it, we have to create a new string to store this new value. But in list, the lists are mutable, so we can change an element by using the index operator. So I'll show you how to change. We'll take an example of this list only, that is a list, and I'm going to change this first element, that is mango, and I'm taking let's say an example of pineapple. So that is a list, first element I want to change, and I'm assigning it pineapple. So now if I print my list, so if you observe here, one pineapple, instead of getting a mango here, I am getting pineapple, and rest all element remain same. If you observe here, my list has 1 mango, 40 banana, 5.6 and orange. Only the first element, that is mango element, has been replaced by pineapple. So this is an advantage of list over strings. Now if I want to delete any element from this list, how I can do it? I can use either the delete function, or I can use the remove method for it. So I am by using del function, I am deleting the list. I am deleting this 5.6. So 5.6, what is the position for it? Let's check. This one is at 0th position, pineapple is at 1st, 40 is at 2nd, banana is at 3rd, and 5.6 is at 4th position. So I have to give an index of 4 here, and I'll now print my list. So if you observe here, 5.6 is missing in my output, which means that I have deleted this element from it. Now if I want to check how many elements are present in the list, I can use the length function, that is len, and in that I have to give the name of my list. So I am giving the list. So if you observe here, currently there are 5 elements, that is counting will be from 0 to 4. So there are total 5 elements in the list which have been printed by using the len function.